What's going on, guys? Super Savage 789 here, bringing you guys a video. Saved in What Perfect Cell Turned Good, episode 2. So without further ado, let's get into today's video. A time of peace would occur in the world. Without Goku there to work, Gohan would need to give Chi-Chi some of his money whenever he gets paid to keep food on the table for her, his younger brother, and his grandfather. Gohan would also be keeping up in his training due to him assuming his role as Earth's protector much more seriously. He trained with Cell when the duo would grow rather quickly training together. Cell wouldn't really be doing much during the times of peace, as then of course training with Gohan. He'd be refining his skills, learning every technique he has in his arsenal, even the obscure ones like the Double Sunday, Bomber DX, and even the Mafuba. It makes him very useful in combat. And yes, Cell did know that, because Juro spy robots captured everything from Mecha Frieza to King Piccolo. Vegeta would still be training hard to make sure he isn't left in the dust by Gohan and Cell. He'd perfect Super Saiyan and begins growing quickly. He would be a lot weaker than the duo due to him not having training partners and having less potential. As for Goku in the other world, he'd still be training and having a good time. About his body, he'd be able to master Super Saiyan 3 than he had originally, making him much more effective. After 4 years of peace, a familiar cat god would awaken, remembering his typical dream about the Super Saiyan god. He asks Whis and the conversation goes beat for beat, eventually heading to King Kai's planet to fight Goku. They'd fight normally, with Goku getting knocked out and Beerus and Whis heading to Earth. King Kai would decide to tell Gohan to make sure to keep Beerus calm, which Gohan agrees to. Since, Gohan is the strongest person, he is Earth's protector in this timeline, so why would he tell Vegeta? He begins looking around to find Beerus before seeing Vegeta bowing towards the cat god. Gohan rushes over, bowing respectfully towards Beerus, which he'd enjoy. Beerus would ask about the Super Saiyan god, which neither Gohan nor Vegeta know. Racking his brain, Gohan begins to think of ways to figure out what one of these is. Overhearing this with his advanced hearing, Piccolo suggests using Shenron to find out, which Gohan agrees to. After making Bulma give him the Dragon Balls, they summon Shenron and learn how to summon one, but are out of luck. Even when Videl realizes her pregnancy, they only have 5 Saiyans. Cell speaks up, saying how the majority of his cells are Saiyan, so if he is using the ritual, it just might work. He might even be more Saiyan than Goten or Trunks, or even Pan. The question then arises as to who will become the Super Saiyan God. Vegeta barks that it will be him, so he can surpass Gohan and give Beerus what he deserves. Since Gohan is a half-breed, it might not even work on him, so Vegeta would be the safe bet. This means that Vegeta would become the first ever Super Saiyan God in this timeline. He and Beerus begin fighting in an intense battle, with everyone trying to keep up in awe of it. Since Beerus is never enraged by Boo, since Boo is dead, the fight will be much less tense, and much more so a sparring match where Beerus tests out the power. The fight still ends the same, with Vegeta impressing Beerus, and the cat god leaving with Whis. Vegeta would still train with Whis, but the results of his training leave him the same as he was in Resurrection F. Yes, he was stronger when he left to begin training, but with no training partners, his gains would be weaker, leaving him at about the same power level. When Gohan and Videl have their kid, they'd have to cut back on training a lot, irritating Cell, so he'd have to find a new training partner. With no Vegeta since he's off planet, and with Piccolo busy babysitting, Cell would turn to the androids to train with. 18 and 17 still greatly hate Cell, and have been trained to defeat him, which he doesn't really care about. He knows they're strong, so that'll do. He'd attack them and begin to treat their fights as spars, confusing and annoying them. They question Cell, and he explains how he wants to get stronger. He tells them that they are his siblings, they should understand him more than anyone else, before rushing at them, beginning to fight. As they clash fists, this time it feels different. They feel the difference in Cell, now less evil, and can feel his apologetic self within. They understand Cell can't just say sorry, but they know he is. He has too much pride from Vegeta to just outright say it. Just like canon, Frieza and his forces arrive on Earth, with the usual fighters coming. However, Cell and the 2 androids are also there. They all begin fighting off soldiers, with Cell sprouting Cell Juniors to take down the mass number of aliens. Android 18 would be surrounded on her own, with the soldiers piling on her, but luckily the cruel master is there to save her, catching her in his arms, which she clocks him over the head for. The start of their relationship would blossom from this though. Shisami is quickly taken down by Gohan and Piccolo, due to them both being stronger, leaving everyone looking down on Frieza. Cell approaches Frieza with the Space Emperor being intrigued as to who the person in front of him is. To test out Cell, Frieza fires a death beam at him, with Cell retaliating with his own death beam, creating a mini explosion in a spectacle of purple. Frieza becomes intrigued at the creature in front of him, powering up to his final form, telling Cell that he's piqued his interest. He deserves a death worthy of a warrior. Cell and Frieza begin to fight, with Frieza beating Cell in raw power. Luckily, Cell has lots of techniques as well as regeneration and knowledge on Frieza that are making him do much better than anyone else could. Piccolo tells everyone that he's merely stalling for Vegeta to arrive, which is evident in the way he's fighting. Vegeta would take a lot longer to get there since Whis would have to take him, instead of having instant transmission to immediately take him there. So Cell would have to hold out. Frieza would begin to find Cell infuriating instead of intriguing, wanting to get rid of him. He'd transform into his golden state and lets out a massive blast, taking off Cell's waist and right arm to everyone's shock. Cell drops to the ground, leaving Frieza chuckling, believing he just killed Cell with his power. He lands in front of Cell, telling him that he fought well, so he'll honor him with a slow death, placing a smile over Cell's face. He regenerates his lower half to the shock of Frieza. Before Frieza can kill him, he uses instant transmission, appearing next to Gohan and the others. Frieza raises up his hand, creating a massive golden supernova, telling them that they can just hurry up and join Son Goku in death. He launches at them with such speed that none of them can dodge it, and plus it's too big to where even if they could, it would probably just destroy Earth. Android 17 tries using its barriers to hold them off, which works for a couple seconds until they break, leaving everyone holding it best they can. Cell places 2 fingers to his forehead, telling everyone he'll take this away with him, but before he can, a blue blur rushes in, punching it in orbit as it explodes in a golden spectacle. Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta stands there to the celebration of everyone else and to the rage of Frieza, as Vegeta scoffs that Cell should just sit this one out and let him take the rest. Vegeta and Frieza begin their fight, with the end result being the same. Frieza would still pull a fast one and blows up the Earth, with Whis rewinding time. Gohan would rush in last moment with Kamehameha and kills Frieza, angering Vegeta but making everyone else pleased that the day is saved. In the time after this, everyone would be doing their typical thing. Cell is training of his android brethren, where the three would truly begin bonding. Android 18 would even have a relationship with the familiar Bald Man during this time, as they were just meant to be. Gohan would be training a Piccolo occasionally just to stay in shape. How his power doesn't really rise, it kind of just remains at a level playing field. He'd be more prioritized working and taking care of his family, since he still needs to give money to Chi-Chi to support her family as well. Over with the Prince of All Saiyans, he'd still be training with Whis, where Champa rocks up, declaring the Universe 6 tournament and all that good stuff. With Monarcha being chosen by Beerus, so the 3 fighters are left for Vegeta to decide. No way, actually it's for you guys to decide. There will be a poll shortly after this video comes out as to who is in the tournament. No matter what, Cell will be in there, because this is his what if, so the other 2 will have to be chosen. Is it Gohan and Piccolo, Goten and Trunks, or 17 and 18? Make sure to choose wisely, because whoever you choose will have great repercussions later down the line. Might not seem like it, but those who watch my Naruto content know I make sure the decisions count. But guys, that's all I'm going to be. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment down. Let's get in the next episode. As you can see, this one was quite fun to write. Android 17 is becoming much more relevant. Cell is of course doing stuff. Gohan's still training. Goku's dead. All that good stuff. The kids are stronger. And yeah, make sure you stay tuned for episode 3. Bye!